Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Todd Standing. Thank you very much for tuning into my live show. I'll be answering questions about the topic of Sasquatch slash Bigfoot slash Sabe slash Oma slash Winchester Tunga slash whatever the name people like to call them. I use a lot of indigenous names uh, through the native people of Canada and the United States. Um, I've been studying Sasquatch for decades now. Whew. Never, never thought I'd get that far along. But it's been a long time. Are you kidding me? That's all I get?
Want more?
That'll do.
You definitely want
My
more.
goodness. My son, who's this freaking exceptional athlete, I had him make me a shake and he gave me a little cup. Oh, my goodness. Anyways, yes, I'm a father of two amazing children. Oh my God, that's a good shake, though. And yeah, you'll be asking me questions about Sasquatch. So expeditions are kind of done. I tell you, this is hilarious. So, on the on those of you who are on the Bigfoot app, Logan's got the cameras working pretty well. And today, so always around base camp, I'm always telling people, make sure you don't spill any food. Make sure there's no food in the ground. If you spill food, make sure you tell me you got to take care of it. I'm going to show people why. Yesterday, a 650-pound grizzly bear came into our camp. We have it on footage. Logan has it, and had his nose to the ground right around our campfire where everybody sits. 650-pound grizzly bear. So got his nose on the ground. He's smelling the fire. He's looking around, looking for any little bit of food. He found nothing. So that is a testament to how, because if he finds food, that's problematic. He's probably going to go through my trailer. He is literally 3 yards away from my trailer. If he's sniffing around the campfire, my trailer is 3 yards away with food, and I'm told the trailer is still intact, which is a testament to how good the bear is. Let's say that first, and then just how clean the area is and how responsible we are with taking care of that area. Because he's a beautiful grizzly bear. He was, I don't want to say fat, but he's a big bear. Like he's ready to den up. As soon as it snows, he's going to go into hibernation. Just an absolute beautiful specimen grizzly bear, like a total specimen. Probably going to get about. I think he still has a little bit of room to grow. So, but just an absolutely gorgeous bear. And yeah, so last week, so the Robert from what's he call himself? Cabin in the Woods came out on expedition. So he's Cabin in the Woods has a very good YouTube channel. He does excellent content. He got the expedition because he did a mini documentary, I guess, about me and you know took on the detractors that say stuff. It's great. If you haven't seen it, you should go watch it. Uh, John Hunsinger saw that, said I want him on my expedition, so John Hunsinger made that happen, and then Cabin in the Woods had a sighting confirmed. So after his sighting, um, uh, we went over the area he had the sighting, and only he had the sighting, and it was everything I do out there is just from the heart. Like I move and I guide people and I lead people based on intuition. And my intuition is I'm feeling what the Sasquatch want. So I separated us in the way that the Sasquatch want. And I just come into it. It's a Jose Silva mind technique where I come in this alpha mind and I'm just feeling them. What do they want? Where should I go? Who goes where? And then I separate people, and he got separated. I mean, he's only 100 yards away from me. I still have to make sure he's safe. But the Sasquatch were around. He was safer than I could ever have provided. And he got his encounter. And then after that, we went over there and had live interactions with that Sasquatch. We heard at least two of them making pops like that. And then apples got taken, trailers got shook. I mean, it was just tracks were cast. It was just a phenomenal expedition. So I had a dentist named Brian, John Hunsinger, a structural engineer, Richard, and Cabin in the Woods. So Cabin in the Woods is going to be a lifelong Sasquatch researcher as this cooperation grows, and I specifically mean mine. And as his grows, there's definitely a powerful place for him. I don't think we could get rid of him if we tried, and I wouldn't want to. So check out his stuff. He's got good videos. He probably has the last interview of Jeff Meldrum, if not the last, close to the last, like the last weeks of Jeff's life. And Jeff really he had a lot to say, and he and Robert got it, and I'm just very happy about that. So yeah, Cabin in the Woods. I'll be putting some of his stuff up on my TikTok channel. Just to, you really got to see. I mean, even so, there's still the odd. There's haters and trolls out there. Just send him to that video. I mean, that's why I did it. Robert took me out of my comfort zone, made me talk about things I thoroughly dislike talking about, and now it can just go and watch that. He went through the internet, every detractor, every hater, every accusation made against me, and he proved they were all absolute horse manure, like garbage ass talk. I'm trying to be nice and not swear. Pathetic and ridiculous, the accusations that have been made against me, and I see it. They're quite universal. I see that the Patterson footage, Roger Patterson and Bob Giblin went through that, and it's just kind of par for the course, and you got to expect that because there's a lot of people out there that are special in not a good way. So Crane Townsend says, "What's the news?" I don't know. There's so much to talk about. I don't know what the news is. Is he bouncing off the walls? Is who bouncing off the walls? Robert? No, he's a pretty calm, cool, collected guy. At least that's what he was with me. And I know he's happy. He's very happy. He's very pleased. So am I. So it's 2 expeditions in a row. The last 2 October expeditions had sightings and incredible live interactions and apples taken that all the expeditioners agree were Sasquatch. So, and so do I. Hey, Todd, keep up the good work. Thank you, KJ. Altrino, what state are you in? Oh, I'm in Canada, in the United States. Sorry, not in the United States. I'm in Canada. I'm in the province of Alberta and British Columbia is where I work out of. But I go to Washington State. I'm going to Nia Bay. That'll be the next expedition in April. So I'm scheduling that right now. If you want to do expeditions, this is the time. It's your last chance. I'm going to talk to Web Guy this week. I'm going to say it's deadlines up. Let's see who's up. I can't take very many new people out. I get at least hundreds. Yeah, I'm in the hundreds of expedition requests, and I can only take out 33 people a year. 60 people want to come back. So but we work that out because they do expeditions when I'm not there now. So I'm in 1 week, out the next. So when I'm out, other expeditioners are going to come in. They've been trained, and the research will continue. So that's why I'll be able to get a lot more people out in these coming years, and then other people will be guiding. James and Kyle will be guiding. So and there's all kinds of expeditions now. You don't have to be athletic at all. In fact, you could be very unfit or unable to move around much. And James did that expedition this year, and there'll be more. So it was quite successful, and I was very happy about it. So yeah, Barry Holmes says we need new picks. Surprise! It's just never enough, right? So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we need new picks. I don't know. I just whatever happens. I've been I haven't got new great video footage in a few years. Actually, there is new footage that I got last year. I just didn't tell anybody about it because Paul, who's usually on here, funded a lone expedition with me, and it's precipitated some footage. So yeah, that'll be coming out. So I'll be in what's the date? Oh, isn't it February? Yeah, in February I'll be in Oregon for like 4 or 5 days promoting a play from one of my expeditioners that is Sasquatch related. So yeah, I'll be talking more about that. So yeah, Oregon for a week, and then the David Pilates documentary. They've properly acquired and got the rights to use my footage, which doesn't happen very often. 99.9% of the time it's stolen, but they acquired footage from me legally. I'm very grateful for that, and they're gonna have me there. So that detail hasn't been worked out yet specifically, but they've offered to have me there, and I said yes. So we're just gonna do that, and yeah. So that's what's going on. Some of the things that are going on. Where's the grizzly bear video? It's on the Discovering Bigfoot app. I don't know what Logan's gonna do with it. So I bet someone wanted to poop themselves. I don't know what he means by that. So you're talking about the grizzly bear, so you can't be terrified like that. There was nobody out there, and I see grizzly bears all the time, and I'm very calm, cool, and collected. If anybody's gonna poop themselves, it better be the freaking grizzly bear because he's the one whose life is at risk. It's not mine. So I don't take any crap from. It doesn't matter how big the bear is. He better be nice. That's all I have to say about that. Hey Todd, great seeing you. Thank you, Royal Creations. Um, in my Waggerts, your name. I don't know what Selena said. I'm new WG8. I don't know. I don't like acronyms. Mean so many different things. Todd, so excited about your new movie. This is Adele. I've been waiting all year. It's still coming out. Yes, coming out right away. Did it already? No. And did you miss it? I love your work. Thank you very much. Willie says, what was the best sighting this season? Oh, I don't know. They're all great. I mean, Cabin in the Woods was excellent. They're all just great. I don't know. I don't have about the best. It just everybody had an excellent sighting. And I'm very happy about it. How are you able to tell the difference between aggressive Sasquatch and more passive ones when you're walking in the wilds? Huh. They'll let you know. So they'll be the ones that tell you. As an example, a couple in Wyoming uh, had Sasquatch coming around. They were bashing rocks in the ground and busting sticks in front of them and acting very aggressively. That's aggressive, you know. And I was not interested in participating or having anything to do with those Sasquatch. They were very aggressive. I mean, it just the thing that the problem is like when a Sasquatch wants something, there were times where Sasquatch wanted an apple from me, he would go "Brrr," and it felt very aggressive, but it wasn't. It was just him. When you're 9 feet tall and you're 900 pounds, you're just big, giant, masculine monster. I shouldn't call them monsters, but they're monstrously big. They can't talk gently. They don't know how to be gentle and nice. I learned that from gorillas. When a gorilla wanted a carrot from me, he went, "Brrr." But you really got to feel into it. It's not easy. It's a good question. It's not easy, but you just got to take your time and feel into it and take it step by step. So it really, most of the time, what's going to happen is going to reflect. If you're out there being aggressive, being like you're dominant, this is my land, you own it, you're gonna get that back. They're gonna tell you, no, you don't own it, I own it. If you want to compete with them and verse them, that's not a good thing. If you go into the land and you're humble and you're a great student and you're calm and you're at peace, what does that mean? Well, if you're just if you're if you're not if you don't have the capacity for violence, you're not peaceful, you're harmless. When you're out there and you have the capacity for violence, I am very dangerous. If anything except a Sasquatch messes with me, it's not going to survive. Any predator that comes around and pisses me off is going to die. If I get charged at by a grizzly bear, if he comes at me, or a black bear, or a mountain lion, if they come at me aggressively, if they're moving in an aggressive fashion, I will end their lives. So I'm peaceful because I have the capacity to be violent, but I choose not to be violent. If you're out there and you don't have that capacity, if you're not dangerous, you're harmless, you're not peaceful. And that's how it has to be. That's how the world is made up, right? It just, if you don't like it, I'm sorry. A lot of these people are going around now talking about how they're so peaceful. You're not peaceful, you're harmless. You're not dangerous at all. And you're no threat. And that's the way it is. If you don't like it, readjust the words because those are what the meanings are. You have to have the capacity for danger. You have to have the capacity for violence. So and not use it. So that's the way it is. How are you able to tell the different? Okay, we did that. What flavor shake, Todd? Oh, it's chocolate, avocado, banana. When was the last time you had an encounter? Just last expedition and the expedition before that. So so we do Patreon. I'm a full-time Sasquatch researcher. Thank you for putting that up, Royal. There's a thing you can go to discoveringbigfoot.org. Don't go to discoveringbigfoot.org in case you don't know. So PayPal, I'm going to say it, is an absolute debacle now. Don't trust them at all. So now people have learned, criminals and fraudulent people have learned that as an example, this year, somebody paid for an expedition, came out and had a great expedition and got a full refund. And I was like, well, you can't do that. Yeah, they can. So I knew a guy who had a snowmobile purchased on PayPal, and the fraud crook got his money back. No questions asked. This is literally the expeditioner who I took out this year who decided that they were getting their money back. said the bed was uncomfortable, so got full refund. Those expeditions cost me a freaking fortune. Like I spend a lot of money, a lot of time, and there's a lot that goes into them. So I was at a huge loss, and that's happened like 3 times now. I'm sick of it. I'm not using PayPal anymore. So I'm telling people don't use PayPal. The poor dude I know who sold his snowmobile, and the thief that got it, that got his money back, said you could say whatever he wants. You could say I don't like the color. Well, then you get your money back. So it's absolutely horrible that PayPal is doing that, but I'm putting it out there. Don't trust PayPal at all anymore. It's really coming to pass. I've seen it with multiple now people that PayPal just refunds anyone who pays for anything for any reason. So I'm not using PayPal. I'll be finding another means to get money across because I hope they go out of business. It's absolutely a disaster the way they do that, and it's despicable. So, what is the tallest Bigfoot you've ever seen? I did a video on that. 9'8" ish. They get pretty tall. It's pretty impressive. Is October the last month you go on expeditions? Yes, the end of October because the snow usually flies after that. I am going out, so I'm going to go. I have to go get one of the trailers. I have to pull the trailer out. I'll leave 2 trailers in there. I had some plans for other stuff, but I don't know if I'm going to do that. So you should know this. Speaking of snowmobiles, as I mentioned a minute ago, I'm starting a snowmobile business where I'm going to actually take people out into these remote areas and drive around on snowmobiles. Beautiful, very safe areas where there's no avalanche dangers. I'm not doing mountain snowmobile. We'll be beside the mountains, but not in avalanche danger. And I have multiple expeditioners that are coming out. It's just these will be like either 2 days where people fly out to Calgary and then go snowmobiling for a day, take a day off, go for a hike somewhere beautiful in the mountains, and then go snowmobiling on a third day. So that's the 3 days. That's 2 days of snowmobiling. It'll be Radium and Nordegg, and we'll be going looking at animal tracks and hopefully finding Bigfoot tracks, which is very unlikely. The likelihood of us seeing a Sasquatch is not good, but you'll be able to snowmobile out around guided by me in the most beautiful terrain. The Rocky Mountains are absolutely gorgeous, beautiful rivers, beautiful mountains. It'll be totally spectacular. So I'll be putting that up and making that available on my website. So I'm very excited about that. And so yeah, there'll be stuff going on. There'll be, I guess, I'll call it wildlife research, because what we can do is we could see elk herds, we could see moose, we could see mountain lions, wolf packs. So monitor tracks of animals, and that'll be fantastic. Can Bigfoot win a 1v1 versus a grizzly? Yes, they can, no problem, easily. I've seen evidence of it. I've talked about it quite a bit, so I'm not going to talk about that today. Hi, Todd, Andy, and Royal, and Boom. Hello, Black Diamond, DC. Joe Cam, do you think there could be Sasquatch in the mountains, New Hampshire? I've never been to New Hampshire, so I don't know. If there's black bears there, possibly. It's good to see you. Thank you, Craig. Good to be seen. Hey, Black Diamond, Boom. Everybody saying hi. Good evening. There's a whole family of people. There's Paul. So who I was talking about. So it's Paul's. That's a done deal. So the David Pilates thing is not a done deal. That's November 28th. Paul is a done deal. Like, I'm gonna be in Oregon. If Paul wants to put up the dates, he can. I don't have the dates right in front of me here. Where is it? I don't want to say that date because I'm not sure that's correct. Put down some wrong dates here. Freaking notes are a mess. Holy crap. Yeah, it's late February. So it might be February 20th to 24th. That's what I have here, but I think that's incorrect. It's not 1,000%. It's in late February, near the end of February. And it'll be in Bend, Oregon. So I could be screwing all this up. What does it say? God, I can't read my own handwriting. It says Eugene, Oregon. Anyways, I have all this stuff. I shouldn't even be talking about it right now. I'll get all my ducks in a row next time I speak of it. So, but be aware that's going to happen. Give, send, go is best. I don't know what that means. When you first saw Koba, it's not Koba, it's Kubota. I had this meathead saying his name is Koba, not Kubota. Who the hell do you think you are? Like, F you, Kubota. And I wasn't there. Ina was there. So don't tell me it's Koba. Where the hell do you think you are? Like how arrogant and omnipotent and what a douchebag you have to be to tell me that, or even Ina, no, his name's Koba. What are you talking about? Kubota. So Kubota, Iha, Ina is what the Sasquatch said. If you don't know the story, that's the break of it. I'm not saying Levy is speaking on that. It's Kubota. Kubota is the way she announced it. Kubota, like that. So Kubota, Iha, Ina were the words that came out of that Sasquatch's mouth. The only time I've ever heard of a Sasquatch, like it was so believable. I know she was telling the truth based on all of what was happening, but I feel that to be very true, and I really believe her. So, anyways, when you first saw Kubota, were you puzzled how different he looked? Because he doesn't look different. No, I wasn't. So I don't get that about people. I disagree with all of you. I can't believe how much they look the same. They look so similar. Jane's a female. If you take the time and you look at her eyes and her nose and her mouth, they're identical. Same thing with Kubota. His the thing is with Kubota is all you can see is this on him. So you just assume, I don't know what people are assuming. I assumed he had a Sasquatch shaped head, and he in fact does. So I don't know what other people are assuming. He has a head shaped like Jake. His mouth and his nose and his eyes proportion are identical because he's the same species. So I'm shocked is I'm puzzled why everybody says they look so different. I don't see it. They look the same to me. They look like different individuals. Like when you look at people, do you think they all look the same? If you saw two human beings, because if you saw me and you saw my son, oh my God, they're not the same. Well, yeah, my son doesn't have a beard. He has a full head of hair. He's not quite as developed as me. I'm older looking. What if somebody had a tan and brown eyes? Oh my God, he's a different species. He's not though. He's really not. I've seen gray wolves, black wolves, white wolves. They all look like wolves to me. I've seen brown bears that are totally brown. I've seen grizzly bears with silver tips. I've seen grizzly bears with like raccoon colors. I've seen them at 500 pounds. I've seen them at 750 pounds. I've seen them at 900 pounds. But they're the same. Kubota is a Sasquatch. He looks just like a Sasquatch. He moves like a Sasquatch, and he's a Sasquatch. So I'm puzzled that people. Actually, I'm not puzzled. I guess I can kind of see what they're talking about, but just if you do real examinations, you'll see that it's clearly just Jane's a female. Did you ever notice that if you see a guy beside his girlfriend, there's a big difference? They look different, like masculine traits as opposed to feminine traits. Size differentiation. Have you seen Thor Bjornsson, the world's strongest man? You've seen him with his girlfriend. They're the same species. They're going to have children together. They may look really different. I mean, his girlfriend's pretty and feminine. He's a big freaking monstrous. They called him the Mountain. In Game of Thrones, he's a freaking mountain. And he's big and he's huge and his face is poofy. And he's bald and she has hair and he's got a beard and she doesn't. They are of the same species. So I think there's more difference between Thor Bjornsson and his girlfriend than there is in Jake and Jane. I think they look very, very similar. So that's where I'm puzzled. People expect them to be cookie cutter and look precisely the same. It's just not the case, not at all. And I guess I'm a little trained because I spent a lot of time with gorillas, and people couldn't tell the difference between the different females. And I was like, they look the same, but they look very different. Like I immediately recognized the significant differences in the gorillas. So yeah, can a Sasquatch break a wire animal snare if it was caught? Please reply to. Well, he could tear the wire snare. I don't know. Wires are pretty strong, so Sasquatch are pretty strong. I don't know. I don't know. That would be damaging. I hope that wouldn't happen. Uh, if he might be intelligent enough to undo the snare. He's got hands, right? So he could probably maybe undo it, untwist it. I hope, because I'm not gonna. The wire snares are insanely strong. Some of them. So but then again, Sasquatch have bent steel, like I've seen it, very impressive. So I'd have to say they could break it. Those bear-proof containers, they don't work on Sasquatch. They can pry those things open. I know that because Native people were storing some of their dried food and goods in bear-proof containers, and the Sasquatch bent them open. like steel that a bear can't bend. But then again, a bear doesn't have the ability to pry and move things like a Sasquatch does. So I don't know. It's an interesting question. Thank you. And don't there we go. World Creations. It says I don't use PayPal. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. JD Large says, yes, Joe Cam, a little past Concord, familiar with the peak and hiker, lots of water, cool. Chris Cunningham says, basically just a tour guide at that point. Nope. I'm not just a tour guide at all. I'm a freaking wilderness expert. You're not going to meet too many people with thousands of days of backcountry wilderness experience, including wintertime. In case you don't know, I used to go out in the wintertime a lot. So not just a tour guide. Still Todd Standing. If you don't think so, wait till the people come out with me. I will teach them so much. I can talk and talk and talk and talk and talk about wilderness and nature and how animals move, and we'll be following trackways. So nothing basic about me, Chris. But thanks for your comment, dude. So pretty disrespectful, I think. So you ever met someone who's trained by Cree and Apache and Survivor Man and wildlife biologist? How am I basically just a tour guide at that point? Like, asshole. So I live in Newport, New Hampshire. Good for you, Chris. It's Eugene, Oregon. Thank you, Paul. So there'll be a lot more. But yeah, Paul can give all that information. So Davis says, definitely big, hairy friends in mountains of New Hampshire. That's cool. If you have stories and you want to tell us about it, discoveringbigfoot@gmail.com. I would love to hear about it. A big Squalus Underground says, Todd and Rich something and Les need to make a channel together. I don't know who that rich person is. And Les is doing his own little Sasquatch thing, and I wish him tremendous success. Calzano says, I'm in Central Florida. I've never seen a skunk ape, but the swamps and lakes here are vast. That's pretty cool. I've been there too. And yeah, I've been there. And this, when I went down to Florida, I went to the Everglades, and the guide said something that sounded preposterous at the time. He said, so going to the swamps, and he had one of those airboats and stuff, and I was supposed to meet some Sasquatch people or skunk ape people. I don't like that name skunk ape at all, but I was supposed to meet some people down there that had some success. And anyways, but he told me, he said, make sure you understand this place is very beautiful, and don't let it like hypnotize you, because some people just quit their whole lives and move into the swamps because it's so beautiful. And I was like, the swamp? That sounds crazy to me. You know what? He was freaking right. I mean, from my perspective, I went in there, there's so much life. I thought the alligators were beautiful. I thought the birds were beautiful. The special, apple snail birds and the apple snails. And if you go fishing in the water, like you could just throw your line in and pull a fish out, throw your line in and pull a fish out. And I looked underwater, it's swamp, but it's still beautiful. It's full of life and vegetation. It's so alive. So, and I saw people that just went there once and said, screw society, and moved there and lived there, built houses there. And I started to see it. Like it was awesome how beautiful that place was. And it was hypnotizing to me. And I could see how people get caught up and lose themselves in the beauty of the swamps. So beautiful, incredibly abundant terrain. And I love that. So Embrace the Journey says, are you inclined to believe Sasquatch is a dimensional being? No. Is skunk apes? The skunk ape is Sasquatch, yes. Philip says, good story, but what really proof do we have that you have? I don't know what you're talking about. There's proof of everything I've done, significant proof of everything. So why don't you show us a video of Sasquatch on your live feed? Why don't you show us a video of Sasquatch on your, first of all, it's my live feed. I'm here doing a live show. So if you want to see my videos of Sasquatch, go watch Discovering Bigfoots on YouTube. Skunk ape is small, not a Bigfoot. So I totally disagree with Al, 100%. They have key deer. The key deer, they're deer. They're freaking small. And then there are deer up here that are, I don't know, 20 times the size of key deer. So animals can get smaller as you go into the warmer climate, smaller, more aggressive. That's a kind of a law of nature. I've seen I've seen deer, like whitetails in Texas. They look like dog size to me. Out here, they're, much, I don't even know what they weigh, 90 pounds in Texas. They're 400 pounds up here. So it is totally Bigfoot. I totally disagree with Al. Just a south version of Sasquatch. So 100%. So I spend a lot of time deep in the woods of the Pacific Northwest, and I'm very skeptical. Well, and you have to be, Grant. I respect that, but where's the training? Where's the education? Grant, you could have, I tell you, man, even as a Sasquatch researcher, the stuff that I've learned when I take people out and show them, you're freaking blown away. Like identifying, I was hiking in the Talladega Forest. I was hiking in Texas and I saw tree breaks done from Sasquatch, and they're everywhere. And people don't recognize them. Then you don't know how to look for the tracks. You don't know what a structure is. You have no idea. I teach all these things and more, what the Sasquatch do and how they interact with you. So I don't know anybody who teaches. There isn't. Nobody teaches what I teach. People that leave these expeditions go home with an exceptional knowledge of what to look for Sasquatch. If any of my expeditioners call me and say, there's Sasquatch sign here, Todd, I believe them and I'm going down there. And they're gonna tell me more than just how old is the sign, how many years have they been coming here? Is this a repeatable situation or is it acute? Are the structures showing that triangulation that we look for, the over under? Like, is there intelligence behind? Like, all these things that my expeditioners learn and go through when they're out here with me is very, very significant. So, and like Survivor Man, he's the perfect example. He was out there at the fire. If you look at the episode at the first season of Survivor Man Bigfoot, he goes, I've heard these sounds before. Well, of course you have. They've been around you many times. You just don't know what sounds Sasquatch make. And Grant, I give you all the credit in the world because you can't go out there and go, well, that's a sound I don't understand, and go, what's a Bigfoot? That's a preposterous thing to do. That would be ignorant completely, right? So what you do is you hear a strange sound, you go, oh, and you do bird, oh, it must be a squirrel dropped a nut. Like you say rational things until you've been trained and you have that understanding. And I go out with people and I hear those louder than that deep boop sounds, and I go, that's a Sasquatch. They do that, and then we hear them booming around and all the other signs. We go look for it, and it all happens. They go, wow, you were correct, and then they understand. Oh, that's a sound that Sasquatch make. So until you're educated about that stuff, you have no idea. Nobody teaches it except me, so that I know of. And well, I'm trying to educate people as best I can. I did that in my documentary. I did that with Survivor. It's another thing though to get out there, boots on the ground, and really look at it and feel into it and understand it. Like not watching a show. Like people think they play Call of Duty and they're a real soldier. You don't know. So the theory is much different than the practice. Boots on the ground, practical, teaching people, showing people, and then even just getting them up to a level where they can call me and say, "There's a Sasquatch out here in California or Wyoming or Montana or wherever they are." Right? Has Bigfoot been really close to you? Well, yeah, they've made contact with me, and you should watch my documentary, please. When was the last time you saw one? I see them every year. So there was a sighting. See, also understand, I've seen Sasquatch. I never even counted. With John Benernagel before he passed away, we tried to sort of work it out, and 50 times must be 100 times now. I don't know. I'm not keeping track. I don't have a headboard that I make little marks on. I'm just not that guy. That means nothing to me. I'm interested in expanding and growing the research. I'm not going to pay attention to superficial garbage like that. So, uh, what matters on expedition is not that. So, with that being said, what matters on expeditions is not me having a sighting. It's making sure everything falls into place so the expeditioners can have success in sightings. I don't really give two shits about me having a sighting. I don't work for that. Uh, I'm on a totally different plane of existence, in fact. So I'm focused on keeping my expeditioners healthy, safe, and protected, and putting them in a place where they can have the best interactions with Sasquatch and letting them go off as much as I can to allow that to transpire. So that's the goal. The goal is not for me to have a sighting at all. I didn't see what Cabin in the Woods saw. I didn't see even Nicole on her expedition. She was a good example. I knew there was something out there, but I wasn't sure if it was a Sasquatch or maybe a bear stalking us. So I was keeping everybody safe and close. While Nicole was protected, Nicole had a sighting. And even after she had the sighting, I wasn't interested in seeing the Sasquatch that she saw. I was interested because Nicole, how do I say this? I mean, she was just freaking shocked. Like she went white as a ghost. Her eyes were bugged out like this. She's like, I just saw a Sasquatch. So now in the moment, I know there's a Sasquatch there. I caught a glimpse of a shadowy figure, but I wasn't looking over there. My concern is making sure Nicole's safe, making sure I know where the rest of the expeditioners are, making sure everybody's intact. Because now everybody's very clear. Nicole is just in a different state of mind, we'll say. I'm not going to talk about it too much because it's personal between the expeditioners and Nicole, but she needs my reassurance. She needs me to take care of her. She needs me to continue to guide her and make sure she's calm and peaceful. So the sighting was never what I wanted. It's not. So uh, I would never put myself in a position where I could see Sasquatch and other people can't. On an expedition last year, or even some of them this year, where I do have the success, the Sasquatch do come to me. That's not the goal, and I try to avoid that. I try to put people in positions where the Sasquatch can't get to me without having gone through them, because I want them to have the success. That's what it's really about. So that's my focus. So it's totally different from what you might think. So thanks for all you do. You're welcome, Porter. Levy Wilcoxon, my apologies. After hearing you explain it, I can definitely understand. There must be a difference in each individual's. Yeah, yeah, and acceptable. Like even I had Jack Russells, and one was like Billy was light brown and had blue eyes, and then I had Wanda. She was chocolate color brown eyes, and I had Darla who was white and just totally different. I had 10 Jack Russells, and people would often say to me, "How do you tell them apart?" And I'd be like, "How do you tell your children apart? Like they're my little family members." I had 10 of them, but it was so obvious to me in the shapes of their body. Never mind their colors. There were so many personality traits different, and so I get that. It's just the other thing that I'm jaded about too, that I have to remember and be patient with other people, is I've actually seen Kubota full body, seen him walking around, seen Jane. I've seen multiple other Sasquatch. So for me, and I've seen them in Montana, I've seen them in Washington State, I've seen them, you know, in all different areas, and so I have a lot of experience seeing them, and I understand the different looks that the species have. I'd love to see them in Florida, but still, if it was a smaller Sasquatch, I would still recognize the phenotypes, the external phenotypes of a Sasquatch, like I do of a deer. When I saw key deer, little tiny deer in the Florida Keys, I immediately recognized them as deer. They just look like miniature deer, right? But they're clearly deer. They're clearly the same species, just really tiny. So that's just I get it and I totally understand. So how much does it cost to see one? There is no cost. You know what's interesting about that question is there's no guarantee on my expeditions you'll see a Sasquatch. I would never do that. Um, what's amazing is I had an expedition where there were some wealthy individuals, and we were on like our last night, and these individuals, they're very wealthy men, they each tell me, first one pops up and says, Todd, I'll give you 100 grand if I can see a Sasquatch tonight. I was like, whoa. And the other one goes, I'll match that. And the third one, so $300,000 I was offered if I could get them to see a Sasquatch that night. There's nothing more I could do. You could have offered me $1 million. There's nothing I can freaking do. We did a little night walk, but I do night walks anyways. I would have, if they would have just sat down with me and said, I really want to see one, let's do something exceptional. They didn't have to offer me money. But the point is, I realize it doesn't matter how much you offer me, how many millions of dollars you have. It's happened to me many times where I have expeditions even preemptively go, I'm very wealthy, I want to see a Sasquatch. What do I need to do to get that? And then I go get equipment and special stuff that I bought under them that I thought would help, but I didn't succeed. It's really, money would help the research dramatically. Money would help ultimately. you know, I've come to, I'm very at peace with understanding that I always get footage when I'm alone. I do not get footage when there's other people around. I've had incredible sightings, but it's so much that people can never understand. When for every 10 times, let's say this honestly, for every 5 times I see a Sasquatch, I'll get one blurry piece of footage. For every one blurry piece of footage that I get, I say even for every 5 blurry pieces of footage, I'll get one clear video. So now if you do that math, so it's 5 times 5, so I have to see Sasquatch 25 times before I get a clear piece of video footage. Those are kind of my odds. So it's not what you think. It's very difficult, and I don't go out on expeditioners and see Sasquatch 5 times. Do you understand that? And get one blurry piece of footage. I have a blurry piece of footage that I got. It was literally, and I usually don't try to get footage when I'm out with expeditioners. Just it's not a goal. Hate me if you want. I talk with the expeditioners. If I'm out there dicking around with the camera, we're less likely to have a sighting. If they're out there focused on working a camera, they're less likely to have a sighting. I've literally been out with people where a lady says, I just want to see one. The dude says, I want to get footage. A Sasquatch comes out. She has, let's say, a 6-second sighting. He has a 1-second sighting and nothing else. Because she stood there and looked at the Sasquatch. He looked at the Sasquatch, immediately went to his camera, turned his camera on, pulled it out, started zooming in, hit record, and then the Sasquatch was gone. So whose was better? And it's not your right, it's not your decision, it's the expeditioner's decision. And the vast majority of my expeditioners don't want cameras, they just want to experience it themselves. And they come out there and do that. And those are the people that get the best success. Go figure. So it's just the reality of what's boots on the ground. People have this shalala of life, and life is sunshine and goddamn rainbows, and it's not. I'm guilty for that because I make it kind of seem like that. Like, where's all the times I failed? I literally had so much blurry, crappy, failed footage. I never released it. And then I just released like the best of the best shots that I get. I didn't do anything blurry. And people have no idea how hard I had to work, how many times I failed. Like, even this rumor started, every time I go out, I see a Sasquatch. I mean, that's absolutely laughable crap. That doesn't work that way at all. It's very difficult. I'm very grateful when it happens, and that's just the way it is. J.R. Funnies says, I'm sure a Sasquatch can get out of a snare. That Sasquatch that brought down the ski lift. JRE Funnies, he's right. Yeah. There's no snare that could hold a Sasquatch. Now, thank you, sir. You're correct. From what I've seen they're capable of, there's something more that I'm not talking about, but JRE Funnies is correct. There's no snare that could hold them. Now that he's illuminated me to something, his little about the ski lift thing, you're absolutely correct. So, and even if the group would come help, like if you caught a bear's on his own. If another bear comes around, bear's probably going to kill him, right? Mountain lion comes around, sees any bear, probably going to kill him. Wolves are going to kill him for sure. It'd be the opposite with Sasquatch. There's a troop of them. There's a cooperation. So on so many levels, he's right. I'm going to say this. I'm going to restate my answer. There's no flare that's going to hold a Sasquatch. Period. No chance of it. Thank you, JR. That's the Koalas Underground. Sasquatches are stupid. They pick and choose who to get close to. I agree. Most people who spend a lifetime in the PN rainforest never see one. So all you skeptical people who do not have a reason. He's got a lot of good points in there. I know a hunting guide that refuses to believe Sasquatch exists, and in his heart he knows it. But if you really just completely and utterly deny it, you wouldn't believe the horse manure I've heard from people when they've even found a trackway, Mountain Nordegg, and his father-son drive out to me, and the son's kind of a fan, talking to me, and the father's like, there's no Bigfoot, this is all crap, I don't buy any of this. And then the son goes, what about our trackway, Dad? And I stand up and go, trackway? And I'm on an expedition. he goes, well, we saw this guy with a 400-pound backpack that was wearing stilts and big sandals. We saw him tracking through the snow out in the middle of nowhere. And I went, you actually believe that? Did you hear what you just said? Because what happened is he found this trackway where, it's a 9-foot tall Sasquatch, so the steps are way too big. So he assumes stilts. And then the feet are way too big a man. So he assumes that the guy has like sandals, giant foot sandals on the end of these stilts. And he's also extremely heavy. He's compressing the snow. So he must have like a 400-pound backpack on. Even if you say he's a 250-pound man with a 200-pound backpack wearing stilts going into the hella middle of nowhere, can you believe people will say that crap? They'll believe that kind of garbage in their heads. When the hell have you ever seen somebody walking around in deep snow on stilts with a heavy backpack? But they'll believe that. 10 times before they'll believe, well, there's a giant bipedal hominid called Sasquatch out there. And I went and I looked at the trackway after, and I was like, just get out of here. I don't want to talk to you. And his dad's leaving, like, why is he looking? Why is he so impressed with that dude with stilts? And his son's like, Dad, it's a Sasquatch. Of course it's a Sasquatch. What the hell? I just can't. It blows my mind how people will just say the most ridiculous lies to themselves to support their paradigm. I felt bad for him. I didn't have any time to talk to him anymore. I'm not going to try to explain myself. If you think there's a dude, especially if you saw the trackway came out of the bush, out of nowhere. There's nothing over there, and went back into the middle of freaking nowhere. Who the hell's walking around stilts with arm back? Like, come on! Like, nobody does that. That's ridiculous. So it blows my mind how people will just. I just don't get it, and I feel sorry for people like that. But then again, I was kind of one of those people. So, Todd, if you believe they can look different like people do, then why can't there be some that can't mind speak and only vocal? Well, yeah. But it's their language. So sure, that's possible. I mean, there's blind human beings. It's not going to be the norm though. So it's quite clear to me this is an evolutionary thing that they're born and raised with. Even Craig, I've never met a person who's not empathic. Never. There's not one, the hardest ass skeptic in the world. Do this to anybody. Here's the test I'm going to tell you guys. So you go up to anybody, you go, hey, you ever been sitting in a spot, I don't know, in your car, at a bus stop, at a restaurant, in the library, just sitting there chilled out, and for no reason at all, just you don't smell anything, you don't see anything, you don't hear anything, just for no known sensory perception reason, you look in a direction, and in that direction, somebody was staring at you, and everybody says, well, yeah, and then I go, okay, you didn't hear them, right? No, I heard nothing. You didn't smell them, you didn't see them. But how did you know to look there at that time that someone was looking? And did you feel like you were being watched? They go, yeah, I did. What does that mean? I've never had anybody say, no, it's never happened to me. Every single person has that, Craig. So to date, I've done that to hundreds of people, and I've never met a person who I wasn't able to prove. I could sit down and talk to them and go, that's extrasensory perception. And they go, yeah, I guess that does kind of happen. You're at a feeling and something happens. But these are extrasensory perceptions. And with people that are highly empathic, they do exceptional mind speak things. So I don't know. I think it's extremely unlikely that there's a Sasquatch that can't mind speak. Extremely unlikely. It's something you're born with, and but can it be possible? Sure. So even less. Sure. Now we're talking. So this is something Craig says right after, and now he says less developed. Absolutely, that's going to make sense in human species. People that are less developed vision, less developed hearing, less developed, the gambit goes on, less developed trap muscles. You know what I mean? But absolutely, with mind speak, sure, there's going to be levels. There's levels to everything, and the more one would focus and use that ability, the more you would become highly developed and highly skilled with it. And now, based on knowing Sasquatch live in the wilderness, they live in nature, I think that the worst of them is going to be extremely well developed. The best of them is going to be, I can't even imagine, manipulating frequencies and doing telekinesis and all sorts of cool stuff. So, and I've seen evidence of all that stuff, significant evidence of telekinesis, significant evidence in people of precognition. It's not even significant truth. I've seen the existence of precognition. I've seen the existence of telekinesis. I was actually not being honest with you. I've seen it, I've witnessed it, I've experienced telekinesis, Sasquatch using telekinesis. So that's what I'd say about that. How's their night vision? Oh man, that's a complicated question. So I have evidence that their night vision is exceptional. So, but I think it's not vision. I think there's something else going on in their abilities to perceive energy around them in a different facet, and I have a bit of evidence of that. So it needs more work, but that's my theory. Is they're actually able to see even beyond the spectrum. Like, can you imagine? I saw a video of this gentleman who he'd bounce a ball, and that ball would reverberate like Daredevil, and he would see things around him through his ears, through the sounds. He developed a sense of radar. I think they can do that, and I've witnessed things that are just I don't think they should be able to see. I've been out at nights where I had this incredible Generation 4 military night vision, and it wasn't working because it was so freaking dark, like black clouds with no moon. They're just devastatingly dark. Can't see anything, and they're running around and maneuvering through the wilderness. Mountain lion can't see in that. There are levels of extinction in light where you can't see, and yet they're doing it. And my native teacher did it, and he told me how, and it wasn't through his line of sight. So I'm getting very, very paranormal. Please accept my apologies if it's a little too much for you. Just being honest, though, I've experienced these things, and the world is just it's so much more than what we're aware of right now, and that's an absolute truth. Brand Brandon says they're definitely here in Texas. Awesome to hear. I camp a lot near Louisiana border. I hear them howling all the time. Man, I'd love to hear about that, Brandon. I've Logan's in Texas. I can give you some help out there. I got a couple people in Texas. So send me an email, discoveringbigfoot@gmail.com. I can send some Texans out there. I got a bunch of Texans out there that could work with you. So Rich Garmeau has two-part video on a flash of beauty. Bigfoot revealed. He's a very solid, believable. That's cool. I'm glad to hear it. So just a couple more questions. Oh, I got a donation. Thank you. YouTube is very grateful for the donation that you give them. So, and thank you. It's and Angel James. Hi, Todd. What do you think the creatures are that look like they're wearing a big fur coat with a hood and have an ancient human face? I don't know anything about that. Sorry. I just do Bigfoot. So, so specifically, what the creatures that look like they're wearing a big fur coat? So creatures, you know about creatures that are wearing a big fur coat with a hood? I've never seen anything like that at all. Um, sorry, it's not Sasquatch. They don't wear fur coats at all. I've never seen them with a hood. And so, sorry, Angel. I have absolutely no idea. No idea. Uh, I don't do dogmen. There is no dogman as far as I'm concerned. I've never seen anything like that uh, in any way, shape, or form. So I don't. Apologies, I don't have an answer for you. Thank you for the donation, though. Big fan from PA. Thank you, Charlie. Just a couple more questions. Almost into the hour here. Stormy Holmes. Hi from Washington State. Love Washington State. Going there in April. Very excited about that. That's called evolution, says Charlie. Mm-hmm. Julie, I found it extra convincing that I've seen trees placed upside down. Ah, right. I never heard anyone make a note of it till Todd. Well, yeah. Well, no, there. So, is it Julio A? Oh, there have been. So when I first met Jeff Meldrum and he saw the upside down trees, I didn't have to cue him. He's like, "Hey, I've seen that before." So I'm glad that I haven't really made much note of it. They're exceptional when they happen. I love seeing those upside down trees bashed in the ground. But there have been other people that have. I found it when I started talking about it. I found other research going, yeah, and showing me pictures. So it's the tree breaks I never heard people talk about before, and the structures, the layers of the structures that are really important that I teach people. So Richard Lopez says, have you been in contact? No, with Matt Moneymaker. No, Matt Moneymaker and I are not going to get along. We just are totally different human beings. Late to the stream, boom. Hello, Chris. You didn't come. Chris, you didn't come out last year. I'm not remember about that. And Chris, it's November, dude. You got a couple weeks, so reach out. Let's get going here. If you're coming up for 2026, I want to know. Listen to the Telepathy Tapes podcast, Nonverbal Acoustics Communicate Telepathy. Fantastic. Thank you for that information. Everybody saying hi. That's awesome. Mindspeak is most likely their primary way of communication. I totally. Let me think for a second. Yeah. So Mindspeak is their primary way of communication. It's not most likely. They're clearly, I mean, they're doing it with me. on layers and levels, like so clear, so crystal. So can I really say that I have evidence of that fact? I just I guess I can't. So Julie's being responsible and saying most likely. I'm just in my heart and soul 99.9% convinced that is how they communicate. It's their number one way of communicating. Um, I've experienced it, and it is so amazing, mind blowing. It's to the point. There was one day where I had mind speak where they were looking at an expeditioner of mine who was a very powerful empath, and they were conveying like that they saw something funny. And there's two things that I learned about the Sasquatch that day is when they think something's funny, it's like we laugh like ha 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 ha, and it's kind of like uncontrollable. It's almost like a convulsion. Their laughter is so powerful. It pained me. Like I was like, oh, get out of my head because it hurts. Like my my brain hurts right now just thinking about it. I'm remembering that pain that went through. And then when they calmed down, they see that they were injuring me because I was right in their frequency. The other thing that blew my freaking mind is I know there were three of them. There's one that witnessed the expeditioner that saw something funny, and two that couldn't witness it. And myself, I didn't witness it. But when they see what the other Sasquatch is seeing, when they see through his eyes, when they share that process, it's real to them. It's not like I don't know how to explain it. It's just they know that it's happening. They know it's live. As much as I see things in front of me, they when one Sasquatch sees it and projects it to the other Sasquatch, it's happening in reality. It's like they feel the emotions of it, not just the sight. They get the smells of it. They not just see it, but they can hear it. Imagine like having someone walking around with a camera and you could smell what they were smelling, you could feel the wind like they did, you could hear everything they do, not just see it. Like you're and then you're emotionally involved the way that Sasquatch was. Like the laughter, what he thought was joyous and hilarious was immediately shared by them. So uh, it is an incredible form of communication, and I've experienced it many times, even on other days beyond that. And we don't talk like that. We don't communicate like that. We're not transparent with one another like that. And that's going to, if human beings could do that, if a president of the United States could stand in front of the whole country and not say a freaking word, you could just connect with him and feel what his intentions are and what the truth is about him, the world would change. If you could just know that, you could feel it and understand, not just understand, but see how he's feeling, the passion he has or doesn't have, the deception or the truth would all come out. Can you imagine that world? And that's what Sasquatch want for us. And that's why I'm so passionate about this research, is I want that for us. I want to live in that world where it's just integrity, truth, and honesty. Someone is deceptive and dishonest, you're going to pick them up a mile away. Like there's no space for liars and cheaters and dishonest people. They'd be gone. They don't exist anymore. They're going to be weak. They can't hide from this form of sensory perception. I want to live in that world. And that's why I want that world for my children. I want that for your children. I want that for the next generation. I want it for this generation. And that's why this is not just some Billy Ape discovery. It's just not it's not even just an impressive hominid discovery. What the Sasquatch have to teach us will change the world in incredible, amazing ways forever. We will never look back. And the ones who are most empathic, most honest, most honorable, most truthful, most just, they'll be the most powerful human beings in the world. I want to live there, and I'm going to teach that to my children. I am teaching that to my children, and I want that for our future. So that's why this discovery is absolutely so important. Another of a dozen reasons I'm so passionate about this discovery, because it will change the world for the better in so many ways. And the Sasquatch want that for us. They're burning for it. They're teaching me and others like me so passionately that this is the way, this is the future. In fact, the message I'm getting from them that's quite clear is over the past 2 years that I can tell you is they consider us like a lost brother. We went off and did something they never left nature. They stuck with their natural biology. They stayed wild and free, and we did not. We're domesticated, we're owned. Every human being is born with debt now. That's what our governments have done with us, right? Every human being gets a social insurance number. You all pay taxes. You all owe it to the man. Your freedom is so pathetically limited. You don't know what it's like to be even wearing clothes and putting on glasses and having shoes that you acquire. All possessions make you less free. It's something that you're beholden to. It's something that you had to pay for. It's something that you owe. It's not freedom. The Sasquatch wake up naked and have no possessions and go wherever they want, however they want, eat whatever they want, and nobody tells them what to do. That's wild and that's free, and that's not you and that's not me, not even close. And that's what they're here to teach us, is to get back to our natural biology, get back to nature, which is where the preservation of the whole world exists. It's where our happiness truly exists. It's where our freedom truly exists. It's in nature and connected to nature. That's the solution to all of our problems, and that's something I'm teaching and projecting out to you and wishing upon you. Thank you very much for tuning into my live show today. I'm very grateful. I'll be back next Wednesday as well, and we'll have new stuff to talk about. So y'all take care of yourself. Bye for now.